So I wanted to show you guys, basically, whenever you get a haircut, or say you do a blowout, you go back and forth between curly hair and straight hair. And then you ever feel like your curls just aren't quite right the next time you curl set them? It's because we broke up all these little curl clumps. So I just gave myself a little bit of a haircut, which means I had to comb through everything. And then I just wet it because it's clean today. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just wet scrunching, no product yet. But what that's gonna do is just kind of help things find their friends. And my hair is very wet. So I feel like things are starting to clump better. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put my product in. Now, I like to get excess water out of my hair. And we know we need a good amount of water. I don't style mine when it's dripping. Try it both ways and figure out what works for you. I'll never sit here and say like this is the absolute best or the absolute worst way to style your hair. You have to figure out what works for you. I definitely leave a good amount of water in there, but I also don't really feel like I need it dripping down my back. And now you get to see my favorite curly girl routine. Okay, so the first product I like to use is the All Nutrient Spray Gel Natural Styler. I love a spray gel. I feel like I get a really good distribution of product, and I might hit things that I would miss with a traditional Goop product. So to apply that, I kind of just shake my head. I let it split over my shoulders, and I spray this in. And then I flip my head upside down to get everything else that I might have missed that's under here, because we just did all of this, right? So when I flip my head upside down, this is gonna go internal and this is gonna be on the outside, and then I'm gonna go ahead and spray. Upside down. Can you see? Oh, you can see it. Okay, good. And there's that. I'll scrunch that in a little bit. Again, you can hear the water that's in there. So there's a good amount, it's just not dripping. Okay, so I wanna go back and forth between right side up and upside down as little as possible while it's wet. So I'm gonna stay just like this, and I'm gonna apply a traditional gel. So this is a medium hold, All Nutrient Motion Soft Gel. So it's still gonna give the hold of a gel, but there's definitely much less crunch to it. It does cast, but it's not a heavy cast. I like to change it up as far as how crunchy my cast is. And I'm gonna apply this, I'm just grazing it. Placing that product. I'm gonna get a little bit more on my hands for the other side. This stuff smells amazing. I can't even place it half the time. There's so much good stuff in these products because it's a clean line. I don't know if it's blueberries or grapes or raspberries, but something smells amazing. Okay. So now I'm gonna flip my head back. And kind of like whatever's left on here, I'm gonna graze that through too. Just trying to kind of hit it at a couple different angles to feel like I'm really distributing the product. All right, now we squeeze and scrunch it in. You hear that water? And we're starting to form those curl clusters so we can get a good cast. Go this way. You really do want the hair hanging, whether you're upside down or leaning like this. I've been doing a lot more leaning sets for my clients because it's not always comfortable to flip someone upside down, and then depending on, you know, your neck or your back. And you can see when I'm squeezing, I'm going like this. I'm not going like this. So we actually don't want to overhandle the clusters. We're just squeezing all those products into the water to start to form the cast around each little cluster. All right, and now we diffuse. So I'm probably at about 50% right now. I've been leaning to diffuse to concentrate under here. two things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put another light layer of my spray gel in just because I really, really want this to cast well because I really want it to last all week. And then I'm gonna flip upside down and continue to diffuse. So same way I always do my product, I'm shaking, I'm not running my hands through it to move it around. Just shaking the hair so that it parts middle-ish over my shoulders. You can lean to get under here. Lean. And then we can shake it back like this to kind of get that top layer. Can you see? Yes. All right, upside down we go. The best way to get really good volume through the top layer is to diffuse with your hair upside down. If you lean and diffuse the whole time like this, you'll do okay. But if you want to get as much as possible, I want to get as much as possible, you're going to want to diffuse upside down. Just like this. Once you feel confident that the root area is dry, you can go ahead and flip back upside down. And when I say flip, I mean be gentle and intentional with it. Now I'm gonna finish diffusing by leaning side to side. But you can see how much lift is happening up here, right? Because this is all dry. Okay, so I'm at about 95 to 100% dry now. When I'm checking, I'm just pushing, I'm not really squeezing. I don't wanna break the cast yet. So now at this point, I like to flip my head upside down and do a cool shot to cool everything down and really set it in place. And now the reveal. This is a day one curly set. I know it looks a little crazy to start, guys. So you can shake this out. Just something like this will kind of help things settle into place. You can see I'm not running my hands through it. I'm just kind of putting my hands in and like wiggling just a little bit at the scalp. That helps kind of loosen up any of the partings that have set at the scalp too, so that it falls a little bit closer to where it would naturally. You can see that already looks a little bit more settled. You kind of sometimes just have to take a step back, especially if you're doing a day one cast. Like if you really get in here, you can pick it apart and you'll see pieces and you're like, what? Why aren't you as curly as everything else? We know there's variation, right? Now you are allowed to go through and be like, ooh, this is my favorite little cluster. You might go through and pick out your favorites, but try not to be too nitpicky, because if you really go through and look, you're gonna find spots that you're like, oh, I wish this piece did more. When you take a step back, in the grand scheme of things, it all works, right? This is natural texture, so we're just embracing where it naturally wants to lie. So again, those two products that I use are the All Nutrient Spray Gel, which is a natural styler with flexible hold, so we get cast but not too much crunch, and then the Motion Soft Gel, which is a medium hold gel. So again, cast but not too much crunch. And we did spray, gel, spray.